What's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We under the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about Ron Rivera getting pissed off and actually dropping an F-bomb live in the press conference, and also injury update, some good news and some bad news amongst guys like Chase Young, Brian Robinson, Tyler Larson, Chase Roulier, and many others. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure to go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We want to roll to 5,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So yesterday, Ron Rivera had his press conference like he does every Monday following the game. After he looked at the tape, he meets with the press and the media to talk over their questions and whatnot. And I want to say it was Darren Haynes, a local reporter around here, basically asked Ron Rivera, how does he feel, or what does he think about the frustration in the fan base? Because they know that we're frustrated. They know that we're tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. This is year 3 of Ron Rivera's rebuild, and this is the year that we're supposed to start making strides and actually winning games, and that hasn't been the case to start the season. And Darren Haynes basically asked him that question, and Ron Rivera, he got a little frustrated and testy. So check out this clip that I'm going to insert from Ron Rivera's press conference yesterday, and let me just think about this video, and then I'll see you guys on the other side.
Frustrations come through.
I got here. I understand everybody's frustration, especially how proud this organization is. This organization's got 5 championships. You kidding me? I get it. I understand how important it is to win. Okay, but I got to be realistic with what we have and what we're going to do. Now, some of it we can improve on as coaches and get better at, and we have to. There is a sense of urgency that these things have to happen.
I got to catch up with Rivera individually just a few minutes after his group media session, and he made clear his frustrations don't end on the field, but he's committed to getting things fixed. How are you? Where are you mentally?
I'm pissed off and a little frustrated. Frustrated with the injuries, frustrated with doing stupid, silly things that hurt us as a team. I'm angry because I think we're better than we've played. All that together, because I get it. It's time, and I'd like to believe it's time that we start to see the incremental growth that I'm looking for, especially this time around.
There is some good news, though. Rookie running back Brian Robinson Jr., remember the terrible story that he was actually shot. He's eligible to come back, and it's possible Robinson is back on the field for the Commanders, making his rookie debut this Sunday.
So yeah, man, Ron Rivera, he got a little testy again. This is a clip from NBC Sports 4, NBC Sports Washington, JP Finley covering the story. He got a little testy, he got a little frustrated. He dropped the F-bomb. He says he knows how important winning is to this culture. He mentioned the 5 world titles that we've had. It's really 3, but obviously they're going to go way, way back in time. He says he knows that. And honestly, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but that's the emotion that I want to see from Ron Rivera. You know what I'm saying? Anytime we look at Ron Rivera, to me at least, especially on the sidelines during games, he's just standing there with his arms folded. He doesn't really look like he's the coach as far as getting into his players and, hyping them up, talking them, coaching them through the game. He's just standing there like this all game long, and he really doesn't show any emotion. I want to see that from a coach. I want to see that from a person that's a leader of men. Show some emotion so these players can get fed up. Show them that you're fed up. Tell them that you're fed up so things could change. I wouldn't say I appreciated the emotion that he showed yesterday because, again, I'm tired of moral victories. I'm tired of letting them get away in a way. I'm tired of accepting this. I'm tired of everything. I want to just win games. But I do somewhat appreciate that he acknowledged that he knows that the fans is frustrated. But on the same flip side, this isn't his first time saying this. He's constantly say this. So if you're going to continue to say this, why haven't nothing changed? You got to start looking yourself in the mirror and say, okay, Ron Rivera. Look, what is his name? Ron Eugene Rivera, something like that. Look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what did I do wrong? What did I put together? Because obviously I'm the one in charge of everything, and I put together this team. I put together this coaching staff. Where did I go wrong? You addressed the Sam Mills situation in the offseason. Having Ryan Kerrigan as the assistant D-line coach and bringing up Jeff Zanina. You did that. So why can't you do that with any other position coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators? You know what I'm saying? Look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what do I have to do to get my 1-3 team out of a hole? You know what I'm saying? Because, again, to me, the season feels like it's done. Obviously, mathematically, it's not over, but you cannot lose 2 in a row to division opponents and then lose on the road at Detroit and go 1-3. You had to win at least 2 of these games, and you lost 3 in a row. You can't do that. Especially with the way this NFC East is playing, it seems like the NFC East is back. Dallas is 3-1, New York is 3-1, and obviously the Eagles are the last undefeated team still remaining. So they're 4-0. So there's a lot of negative energy in the DC area. Ron Rivera as a part of that, and he actually alluded to it in his press conference. So I definitely appreciate him for saying that. But again, changes has to start being made. It has to start with week 5 coming up versus Tennessee. We need to see Ron Rivera coaching. I swear I haven't seen Ron Rivera coach at all. Like, I never, how you see Bill Belichick and yesterday Sean McVay getting on one knee, coaching his team and saying, hey guys, we still have this. I haven't seen that from Ron Rivera not once since his time in Washington. I really want to know what them halftime locker rooms look like. I really do. Are we really making adjustments? Are we really talking over what we can do better in the second half? Is Ron Rivera really giving these guys a pep talk? I don't know. I don't think so. Because we come out and we're flat. We come out and do the same thing. We come out and look the same way. So I really don't know if Ron Rivera is actually making changes or not at halftime. It's stuff like that is mind-boggling, that we got this guy in 2020 and we're sitting here 3 seasons later still wondering the same things. Ron Rivera put together this line. Ron Rivera went out and got Carson Wentz. Ron Rivera went out and brought in Martin Mayhew and Marty Hurney, even though some of those guys didn't have the best of track records. But he felt like this was the best situation that he could put together this year. So this is on him to fix this. This is on him to turn this around. This is on him to put players out there that's actually going to play. If you have to bench Kendall Fuller, do it. He's obviously a liability. If you have to put Jamin Davis down at the edge rusher position, move him over, use him as a chess piece and not just a stand-up backer, do it. You know what I'm saying? If you have to put in Sadiq Charles over Trey Turner, which you did finally, it took you long enough last week, do it. And again, he alluded to the frustration of the injuries. Again, you can't control that, obviously, but you can control the depth and how it's working, how it's substituted, and how it's shifted. If you clearly see someone continuously getting beat up, why send them out there again for more punishment? This is where I say Ron Rivera needs to step up and take control of his team. Go to Scott Turner and say, Scott, what are you looking at? Clearly, we cannot get the ball off, so why are you still having Carson Wentz do play action and 7-step drops? Do some quick game. Ron Rivera, this is your team, so this is why it's falling all on you, because you put this staff together. Go over there to Scott Turner and give him a talk. Go over there and say, Scott, meet me in my office, man. What's going on? You got to take control of your team. Right now, it just seems like you lost the locker room. It seems like they gave up on you. It seems like we're moving with no sense of urgency. And it just doesn't seem like nothing has changed as a Washington fan. Seems like everything is still the same thing. Even with you, Jay Gruden, Bruce Allen in office, Mike Shanahan, everything. Seems like it's still the same, man. Seems like nothing has changed in a decade. And it was in 30 years. Under Dan Snyder. So that's that part of the video I really wanted to talk about. I appreciate Ron Rivera for at least recognizing that the fans are frustrated. But again, This isn't his first time doing that. We want to see change. Just you alluding to the fans' frustration and acknowledging it is not enough. We want to see change. We want to see winning football back in this area. We want to get FedEx Field rocking. But give us a reason to come out. We're not going to keep coming out if we're going to be getting obliterated by teams. Give us a reason to come out. You want the fans behind you. You want the fans to be there for you, cheer you on, be loud, give opposing teams hell. Give us a reason. 1-3 isn't going to cut it. Okay, so moving on to the next part of the video, I want to talk about some of the injuries Washington has sustained and some updates on guys that could possibly come back. So let's first start with the bad news. Jahn Dotson sustained a hamstring injury in the loss versus Dallas Cowboys, and Ron Rivera said that he may be out for 1 to 2 weeks. And that's not a really good thing at this moment, man. We cannot lose one of our best players on offense in Jahn Dotson. I mean, that sucks. But I mean, on the bright side, at least we got De'Ami Brown, Cam Sims, but we couldn't ill afford to lose anybody on the offensive side of the ball. But we're losing Jahn Dotson for at least the next 2 weeks. I don't think we're going to see him back to probably the game versus Green Bay at home, and I believe that's October 23rd maybe. But yeah, he's going to be out for the next few weeks, and that's a big blow to this offense. But at least we got depth at the wide receiver position, so we may be fine. Moving on to some more bad news. Brian Robinson is a guy that's going to be coming back, but another guy that was on the physical and able to perform list alongside Brian Robinson was star defensive end, number 2 overall pick, Chase Young. And Ron Rivera said he's still not ready. Basically, he's not on the same path as returning like Brian Robinson or Tyler Larson, who's we're going to allude to later. And it sucks because Chase Young is a guy that we looked at as the face of the franchise, still is the face of the franchise. We know he's working back from that torn ACL. And we want to see him out there badly, man. We want to see him out there badly before people start throwing away or throwing around the B word. A lot of people has already started throwing around the B word. I'm not going to do that just yet, but there has been people saying that. I want to see Chase Young out there badly. It's frustrating and it's sad that he's not going to be out there, but I kind of knew he wasn't going to be ready for week 5 just because it wasn't a clean torn ACL tear. It wasn't just a torn ACL tear. He had a ruptured patella tendon, I want to say, too, so he had more than just a torn ACL. So I knew it was going to take more time, but I'm just hoping we get to see him at some point this season, maybe week 8, 9, is where we could see Chase Young possibly come back. But I really want to see Chase Young back out there. We need him desperately, man. We do. And Chase Young is a guy that's just more important to this team than just a player on the field. He's a leader in the locker room. He's the guy that's going to get in these players' faces and say, what are you doing? We need to be better. We missed that vocal leadership. I love Jonathan Allen. He's a vocal leader, or at least he's starting to be. Love Terry McLaurin. He's trying to be a vocal leader, but no one compares to Chase Young's fire, aggressiveness, and getting the team riled up. We need that. We miss that dearly. So it's very frustrating and sad that he's not going to be ready by week 5. But I'm just hoping at some point we see Chase Young. I'm going to say maybe week 7, week 8 is when we probably see Chase Young. Maybe. But at this current juncture, Ron Rivera came out and said Tyler Larson, Brian Robinson, those guys are on track to probably return this Sunday versus Tennessee. They'll see how they do in their first practice, which is going to be tomorrow, Wednesday. But Chase Young is not going to be ready, and that is very sad and frustrating and unfortunate. But I'll keep my prayers, and hopefully we see Chase Young at some point. Then moving over to some more bad news. Seems like everything is bad news, right? Sam Cosmi, right tackle, he has been banged up pretty bad this season. And now a new injury has came out about him, and now he's dealing with a hand injury. Per Nicky Giavala, he suffered a hand injury in Sunday's loss versus the Cowboys. There is a worry he could miss time, but he's expected to see a doctor tomorrow, which is today. So we'll get a further update on right tackle Sam Cosmi, but we could possibly be without Sam Cosmi too. So that's another big blow to this offensive line that's already been terrible. So it's not looking good for that line. But I mean, at least we're getting Tyler Larson back, hopefully, right? And then to end the video off on some positive news, I guess you could say, take it with a grain of salt how you want it. Chase Roulier is set to have surgery today on his knee, and his season is pretty much done. But the team could revisit him later in the season if we were to make, like, let's say, a deep playoff run, and like we somehow make it to the NFC Championship or whatever. I know that's probably not going to happen, but let's just say if it does, we could probably see where Chase Roulier is at that time. But more likely than not, his season is done, and that's very unfortunate because this is the second year in a row Chase Roulier is going to be missing majority of the season. So yeah, man, let me just stick with this video in the comment section down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Helps for Washington Commanders. Run over to 5,000 subscribers. I'm out. Peace. Cost me one time, that's gonna get you pop. Get you